last night I saw Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom in the cinema for the second time. I thought, I'd share my thoughts. I'm not here to talk about raptors and feathers, because that sort of stuff has been done to death, but more sort of, here's my own thoughts on the film itself, as a film, and certain niggles I have, the bits I enjoyed. The very first scene I thought was fantastic. Like, Bayona's background in horror really shows in the way he builds up to both the Mosasaur and the Tyrannosaurus. But I do have one kind of problem. They say, actually in the film, that nothing in this lagoon could have survived. Anything would have died by now, it would have starved to death. So how is the Mosasaur still alive? I don't get it. I mean, crocodiles can go for like a month without eating. I mean, sometimes when a big snake eats a deer, it can go for a year, but the Mosasaur for 3 years? Surely it would be dead by then. Maybe it's just me that's thinking about that. I've not seen that sort of argument put anywhere else on the internet. It's probably somewhere. I just haven't browsed well enough. It also amused me that there were something like 5 carnivorous species. So there was the Tyrannosaurus, the Velociraptor, Baryonyx, Carnotaurus, and the Indoraptor. We'll get to that one later. 6 carnivores, and the dinosaur with the highest kill count was the Stygimoloch. I mean, of course, the debate still rages on as to whether or not it was just a juvenile Pachycephalosaurus, but that's not really my quibble with this film. But more, okay, they made it some kind of mad creature on some kind of headbutting rampage, so like to the point where it could just headbutt through a wall designed to hold Tyrannosaurus or other dinosaurs or whatever, and then through the metal bars, and then it just sort of went through and killed about 40 odd rich people who wanted to bid dinosaurs. The dinosaurs seemed a bit cheap, don't you think? $10 million for a dinosaur, right? Put them at 50 million minimum. No? I feel like I'm kind of just sort of ripping into the film too much, because I did genuinely enjoy it. It's probably as good as the other sequels, apart from Jurassic Park 3, which was just awful. But yeah, as good as Lost World and Jurassic World. Certainly the darkest and scariest of them. There didn't seem to be a lot of point in having the Tyrannosaurus. It only killed one person, and it just sort of seemed to show up every so often when they wanted to have the Carnotaurus get beaten up. Characters I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed what was her name? Zia Rodriguez. I think she was the best character. I think she could have probably been the main character and had the story unfold from her perspective. I think that would have been quite entertaining. Of course, there's still that, the star power of Chris Pratt, which I think was kind of inevitable that he was going to come back. But no, I think Dr. Rodriguez was fantastic. The sort of the paleo vet with that, she still had that sort of dinosaur awe inside her. And she had quite a good kind of moral stance on the whole situation. But again, speaking of the moral stance, I really enjoyed, what was the character's name? Claire, played by Bryce Dallas Howard. I enjoyed her character arc, and sort of how at the end she finally accepted that the dinosaurs should go extinct. But then of course they didn't. Actually, Maisie, the clone girl, that's something I need to go on to later, but the sort of other side character with Rodriguez, Franklin Webb, he should have died. If he didn't die, in the bit when he fell down towards the baryonyx. That that should have been a death sentence, and from then on I kind of sort of thought, he's not going to die. And I didn't really think that this film took risks with like who to kill. Anyone that did die, it was kind of obvious they were going to die from the off. Like you had the kind of the nice old man and the villains. That was about it. If the big plot of the film was, you know, the extinction event on the Jurassic Park island, the wiping out the dinosaurs, so like they were trying to rescue some kind of survivors, like a kind of Noah's Ark story. It just brings up the question: what's happened to Isla Sorna? You know, Site B, film that where the first of the sequels were set. No, nobody else wondering. Also, I felt that it was a bit of a misstep to do another hybrid story, like with the Indominus Rex, and now we've got the Indoraptor. It felt too soon. I mean, maybe if they did a third one, then that would have been the time to do the Indoraptor story rather than just having it tacked on at the end to kind of have like a big dinosaur battle. But it just sort of, you know, raises the question of, you know, Dr. Wu created the Indominus Rex. It went horribly wrong in the last film, so he made another one. Also, on the point of the carnivores, so it's the same Tyrannosaurus from the first film, and obviously the one that turned up at the end of Jurassic World. Surely it's getting to, well, I think if it was born in 1990, it would be 28 years old now. And Tyrannosaurus had a lifespan of about 30 years, so I think if you really wanted Tyrannosaurus in this film, that one should have died, or at least it definitely needs to die in the next film. Not for the sake of it, it should have a kind of meaningful death, not like when they killed the Tyrannosaurus in Jurassic Park 3, but rather, you know, have a kind of mournful crescendo to the franchise. That would be quite something, to have this kind of icon who has been with us since the beginning. Speaking of icons who've been around since the beginning, Jeff Goldblum, it was nice to have him back, and I know that a lot of people are kind of sad that he wasn't the big star of the film. He didn't have much to do in it, but if you look at his character, there's no way that he would ever get on one of those islands again, and he was consistent. He was telling the Congress people of America, was it a congressional hearing? I'm not sure, that the dinosaurs should go extinct again. Also, he should have brought up Site B. Like, what's happened to Site B? So I particularly enjoyed like the arc with Blue the Velociraptor and that interaction with Chris Pratt, and of course there was that it was inevitable that there would eventually be a human clone if the Jurassic films had carried on for as long as they have now. Actually, I remember thinking that the big secret about the Indominus Rex was that it was part human rather than part raptor, which I thought was kind of a given. But no, a full human clone. And it was right that she would be the one to release the dinosaurs into America. Because of course she has a kind of closer empathy with them. I didn't mind too much that it was a human clone. Actually, I remember watching Fallen Kingdom for the first time, thinking, that when she opened the photo book and saw that she was in the picture, I thought that was actually meant to be her mother, but they used the same actress just as a kind of budget saver. No, they went with human cloning, which... Yeah, if you had cloning technology, why would you clone dinosaurs before humans? Actually, no, yeah, dinosaurs are kind of tempting. I'd rather have dinosaurs. No, I don't know if I'd want dinosaurs back. Yeah, those are my thoughts on the film. Feel free to tell me what you thought. Got comments down below. I like getting comments. Please comment and please like. Need those likes. I've not really been making YouTube videos over the past year. Might start again. Yeah. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I recommend you seeing it, but just don't expect it to be the first Jurassic Park.